Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's just wipe this down real quick. Happy Monday morning, everyone. Let's make sure this is going live. Getting live over on Instagram. Good morning, everybody. This is the Making Comics live stream. I'm DJ Kaufman, the director of comics here at VeeFriends. VeeFriends is over 250 characters designed to be freaking awesome. Make soft skills and hard skills cool. Created by Gary Vaynerchuk. You might know him as Gary V on the internet. If you do not, you should. Good morning, everybody. Morning, friendly God. We've got the VeeFriends cartoons. We've got Topps Chrome coming out May 7th. Very soon. Very, very soon. We've got the VeeFriends trading card game. And this is always a reminder for me to set my timer. What am I... Uh-oh. I see here. One sec. Uno momento. Okay, 1 second. I gotta fix this auto lock. I turned off my camera. Never. We'll get it. Great. The beauty of live streaming, my friends. Go back to photo. And then, there we go. All right. Sweet. We got these VeeFriends minis. I've got Gratitude Gorilla hanging out with me today. He's going to hang out on top of that board. Patient Panda, of course. Who else? I don't know. Let's take the Common Sense Cow up here. Those are good. Trio. Comic books are coming soon. We've got our first comic book coming out very soon. You'll be able to read it for free on the internet, but only 555 copies go out to our hardcore, what we call gift goats here at VeeFriends. Only going to be 555 copies. J. Scott Campbell cover. You know the deal. I don't want to repeat it too much. If you're new, VeeFriends, comics at VeeFriends.com. Send us a message. This is me and Corso. We won't spam you. Good morning, Inna. What's going on? I'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. and then 10 a.m. on Thursday for the other thing. We'll post today's comic after I'm on the train. Okay, cool. Got a little surprise today. Let's take a look at yesterday's Sunday comic, and I'm going to be drawing some more here in a little bit. Actually, you gotta open up one of these guys. Pencil topper. Makes you draw better, you know. If you got one of these, it's magic. Makes you draw better, according to me. Dope Dodo is the pencil topper for this morning. Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Alana. Good morning, Chris Chan over on Facebook. It's interesting. It said Facebook was disconnected for me this morning, but I'm glad it's over there. There we go. Awesome. So Sunday comic yesterday looked like a little bit like this. I'm going to walk through it real fast. Hey, what happened to my show? Are you still watching? Maybe you should be doing something else before the weekend is over. You ever have that happen where you're streaming and you're sitting there for too long and TV's like, hey, are you still there? Smart TV is right. Oh no, tomorrow is Monday. I wasted the entire weekend again. Is this all that I'm working for? Little crack in the floor. Little subliminal messages. Find your true self. Little flower you might recognize in a moment. Beware the comfort zone. Also on a rug. You know, if you know, you know. Turn off the TV. Good news, your job isn't your life. Here, I found an article you should read. This is our FU Monday Mole. He's like, Monday Mole, did you dig a hole in my floor? And he's like, sorry, not sorry. Quit your day job. He's like, me? This says quit my day job. I can't do that. He's like, it's your choice. Stay head down sad or dig up your passions. Also, I like to put little news things in the actually releasing the news to you in the newspaper. But when comic books delayed till early May, just like probably right around the same time Chrome. Lots of little unfortunate delays. I feel like I'm not passionate about anything anymore. Boy, I hear this a lot from people. This is a true story based on a lot of people. Wow, a lot of people joining over there on TikTok. What's up? Good morning, TikTok. People flying in and out. I'm in your feed. If you want to hang out and draw some comics, or if you want to be part of a great community, email us at comics@VeeFriends.com. We're freaking awesome. I'm DJ. I got my coffee here. Good morning. Corsa's in the chat. Scotty Rude, good morning. We're live on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube. I'd love it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got a lot of animations and stuff happening over there on the YouTube channel, and much more to come. Pretty soon we're going to be able to talk about really cool stuff, you know, like world lore, not just these cute little comic strips that we've been up to. You ain't seen nothing yet. Anyways, Monday Mole says, sounds like you need the 3-bird system. Check it out. Fix yourself. No more BS. What the heck is that? This is the passion page of the newspaper. Glad you asked. It's the 3-bird system. Passion, curiosity, courage. We've got Passionate Parrot here. Let's rediscover your hidden passions. How do I do that? What did you want to be when you were a child? I guess I wanted to build stuff. I don't know. I don't even know where I'd start. The WTF page is Ninja Spotted at Skate Park. Very random. Curious Crane says, let's find out. You'll never know unless you get curious. So you need curiosity. And then, you know, it also takes courage to leave that comfort zone that you're in. So Courageous Cockatoo is telling you, hey, you got to have a little bit of courage, a little leap of faith. When comic book release, comic book number 2, we don't have a specific date, but I'm going to say it's coming in. It's supposed to be in-house April 25th. Something like that. Maybe a couple days earlier than that, but we've got some other stuff happening. So I think Gary wants to be live with it, and probably the first week of Mayish or the last week of April. Let's see. If not, right before Chrome launch. So we'll have Chrome comics, everything all at once. It's going to be great. Am I frozen over on? I'm going to refresh that. Let's see that. Hopefully not. Okay, I'm not. Okay. The birds will never steer you wrong. So, hey, maybe I can start with a small project like home repairs. Monday Mole, will you help me fix this hole that you made? He's like, nope. But the headlines are, you are not your day job. How to make your Monday, Saturday stop complaining. Fly out of the comfort zone. Fly out of your comfort zone. Dig up your passions. They might be buried. He's got those big digging claws, Monday Mole. Hey, and read more comics over here at VeeFriends.com. Let's see if I have it queued up. Probably, I do. VeeFriends.com. There's a lot of comic strips over here, and you'll see right across the top of the page, well, if it loads for me. Of course not. Of course it's not going to load. Am I not on Wi-Fi? Great. Fantastic, guys. Go to there, click that. go to VeeFriends.com/comics. All right. What are we doing today? I'm going to kind of cover this up a minute. Zoom way out. Turn off the lettering. We've got a lot of inking to do on this one. This is the newest. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Zoom. This one's going to be about innovation. A little bit of innovation here. So I started inking this one, but I've got it fully penciled out now. Got some electric typewriters here. We're going to have some fun with this one. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Good morning. Good morning. Definitely it's not Chrome's fault, Keith. It just so happens that there was a lot of technical difficulties that, you know, a lot of it wasn't to do, nothing we can control. Gosh, who knows? You know, you never know. All the best laid plans kind of get delayed, and that's okay. That's okay. You know, Gary could see my frustration with it when I was in person. I was just like, are you kidding me right now? What? What is happening? But again, it was very nice to hang out with Gary. You know, he's got a different level head, level set, everything. Don't rush. Maybe there's a reason that things didn't go exactly the way that you planned it. And maybe you can kind of even turn that into an opportunity, you know. I like that kind of thinking. How's the coffee this morning? Coffee is wonderful, Craig. This is the tiramisu coffee from Presto George, Pittsburgh. Straight from the Strip District in Pittsburgh. Morning Roach over on TikTok. A lot of people flying in and out on TikTok. That's just the nature of the beast over there. Also hanging out with, looks like Scotty's over on both channels. Kubia, Cody, what's going on? Sorry to hear about the flooding, Santa Claus. Santa said, sorry to hear about my flooding. Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit, boy. Maybe I'll show you a little bit of something too while I draw, but I don't want to draw the boring stuff. Typewriter's kind of boring. Let's ink up Cynical Cat here having a cup of coffee. This will be fun to do. Yeah, Friday I mentioned on the stream that I woke up and there was some water in my basement. It looked like overnight maybe some water had gotten in. We had some pretty heavy rains. Somehow, some way the water got in and kind of, you know, that's not pleasant. It's not as bad as it was once before, so I was trying to keep it level, you know. So my wife and I were down there cleaning, and we were going across some stuff. It was kind of sad because she lost some stuff that she had in the basement too. Like, probably, you know, in retrospect, it's our fault. We should have had this stuff in the basement. We thought it'd be okay, but especially since a lot of it was like sealed away in like plastic bins and stuff. Well, it turned out the plastic bins had cracks at the bottom of it, so some of those bins were full of my artwork from a long time ago. Not all of it got destroyed, but a good bit of pages and strips got destroyed from 25 years ago or so. Which is really funny because, you know, I was just talking about that, about this topic about AI and hand-drawn stuff, and like how hand-drawn stuff is probably going to become more, you know, special for artists. So I was imploring artists to kind of get some, you know, learning hand-drawn stuff again. And so it was really funny that I got to go through a lot of my old hand-drawn inks and seeing that. But boy, you know, I'm a stoic. It still sucked to see all that wet and damaged, but I know that other people have it a lot worse, so I can't even complain. I can't complain, you know. It sucks, but it's like, wow, I know people that lost their houses in the fire and lost everything out in California. So boy, you know, me losing a stack of old artwork hurts, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Try to find the silver lining in everything there when you lose something like that. And for me, I just kind of took a perspective of, you know, I never would have looked at this stuff. And now I'm having either one last look at it, kind of just saying goodbye. Because as an artist, you know, you spend a lot of time. So each one of those pages was hours of my life at that time, 25 years ago, you know. So I'd think about that like, oof, man, this is a lot of hours of my life. And a lot of that, you know, even my wife was like, well, you sure were trained. Like, you sure were, you know, you sure trained up for this moment in time that you're in now. And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot, guys. There's probably 2 years worth of Gravity comic strips from my Gravity newspaper comic strip. Looks a little bit like this. This is one of those strips. It's kind of warped. I let it dry out. This is Moldy Baloney with a laser sword. Anyways, Space Pirates. So yeah, this is dried out now. Smells a little bad, but the inks. My wife's like, "Wow, this is a commercial for this ink brand." If you guys want really truly waterproof ink, I'll show you. I'll show you. Got some in here somewhere. Never mind. Never mind. I could have sworn I had this ink right here. Oh well. Darn. Things get moved around. It's FW acrylic black. Oh, here it is right here. FW acrylic artist ink. Water resistant. Non-clogging, super black, opaque. $5.15 at a place called Art Tech. I think this is still good. I bought this ages ago. India ink. Black acrylic ink. This is why survived water, completely drenched, and it was super black and bold, you know. I think probably some of these were not inked with that, but they still look pretty bold. So, yeah. Anyways. I've got a lot of it drying out in my attic. From the basement to the attic. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Some people were asking me if I'd sell them. And I'm like, I don't know. Part of me just wants to have like a Viking funeral for the art. In the springtime. Or the summer. Hey, thanks for Friendly God joining on Insta. It's friendly. Is it not friendly elsewhere? Yeah, anyways, that was my lesson for the weekend. It was a bummer. I think both my wife and I were kind of bummed as we were going through stuff because she lost some stuff from her childhood stuff, you know. And then I lost some artwork and other minor collectibles, I suppose. But I felt like maybe it was the universe saying, look, you haven't looked at this stuff in 20-something years. Now's the time. Take a look at it. See how it goes. All right, I'm going to ink. I'm just going to go around and ink the characters. I'm not going to, you know, ink a typewriter right now because that's probably not the most exciting thing to see me ink. But we'll get to there. So this is Innovative Impala. He's holding some electric typewriters. Let's get in here. The Innovative Impala. It's funny when I think of these names. I'm so used to it now, and maybe if you're part of the VeeFriends community, you're used to saying the names too, but other people just are like, wait, the name is Innovative Impala? So like, do they go around saying like, hey, Innovative Impala? And I'm like, well, yeah, they do. They might just, I think he does kind of shorten it to Impala after they've said his name once. But yeah, his name is Innovative Impala. I was talking to another artist animator guy on Friday, and he was like, there's always this perplexed look people give. So wait a minute, the name is that, and they say the name? And I'm like, yep, just like Spider-Man. Oh, look at this, Jaden's everywhere. Friendly God, he's over on TikTok. How are you joining all these channels? You're just jumping around. Let me know which one's the best channel that you like to watch on. I like to tell people to subscribe on the YouTube channel, because that's really the place worth building on, I think. Clumhouse, what's going on? What comic am I drawing now? I'm drawing a Sunday comic about innovation. It's kind of an innovation topic. So the VeeFriends are using these old typewriters in their newsroom. And Innovative Impala has found a great deal on these electric typewriters that have spell check. And and so it's kind of like a funny thing about innovation. It might even be a little bit about AI masked in electric typewriters, in a fun way. Gary definitely said, let's have a little more fun with, not, I guess, he did say slapstick, so got some slapstick stuff going too, but I gotta keep things fun. Yeah. Again, I also kind of feel like when those disasters strike like that, I think working at VeeFriends really kind of has given me, it's helped given me, I'm a stoic anyways, but it's definitely helped give me a different perspective of, wait a minute, this really sucks, but what am I learning here? What's the lesson I'm learning? Or what can I take away from this junk? Losing flooded basement. I was like, let's just sell this house and get out of here. That was my solution. But we can't right now. Can't do that yet. Gotta wait for the kiddos to graduate. My stepsons will graduate, then we'll probably get out of here. Go to the city. Some city somewhere, probably Pittsburgh. I don't think we're moving to New York anytime soon. We'll see. Flood the market with new art. Yeah, was that the message? It's really strange though, because I was just having that conversation with my wife on like Thursday or something, and I'm like, I wonder what it would be like if I just surprised people and started going back to drawing on Bristol board with ink. And then I would have originals for sale, make a couple extra bucks, I guess. And I said that, and then boom, the next day or 2 days later, I didn't realize that the artwork was damaged until Saturday. 2 days later, I'm thumbing through a whole bunch, hundreds of pieces of Bristol, and I'm like, no. I found I did a lot of journaling too back then. Not very good journaling, let me tell you. It's very But it was interesting to see my mindset, whatever it was in 1996 or no, 97, 98. I had a journal of the first time I ever set up at a comic convention was Mid-Ohio Comic Convention with my old mini comics and my friends, and we were just like punk rock mini comics. You know, we were real do-it-yourself. And reading back at my own journal, I was like, kind of like, wow, I was very immature. Like, immature in different ways of, I didn't understand a lot of the things I understand now about abundance, and those are just things you got to learn, you know, as you get older. You learn them yourself. If I would have went back in time and told myself the things that I know now, I probably would have told myself to go F myself. Speaking of, there's probably an FU Monday Mole strip up right now. So on Mondays, for now, I've committed to drawing a Monday Mole comic strip. And then Wednesdays, we're going to have Workplace Wednesdays. Chris Faison is handling that. And then Fridays will be Fearless Friday with Allie running the Fearless Friday for now. I say all for now because, you know, things could change. We're just like digging this until the comics come out. We're digging this format. So let's take a look. I don't know if it's up yet or not, or if my internet's working. That would be fantastic. Oh yeah, Instagram profile. VeeFriends Comics. You're going to want to go over to Instagram. Follow VeeFriends Comics. And on Mondays, it's time for FU Monday Mole. So we got this character here saying, I hate Mondays. And by the way, if you go do this right now, why don't you throw a like and a comment and say that you're watching me live right now over on Instagram, and then come on back. What's up, Split Coast Creations? Do you leave the pink lines when you're done or delete them? I just turned the layer off. I'll show you in a minute. This is the Monday Mole comic strip. It'll be available on Mondays. You don't hate Mondays, Karen. She's like, what? You hate your life choices. He's like leaving this flower behind. She's like, my name is Lisa. And he goes, whatever, go fix yourself, Lisa. It's just a real simple, you know, and then we were joking around about go F yourself. It could be go find yourself. Go feed yourself. Go fix yourself. So every Monday, until I get tired of doing it, Monday Mole's going to give us a little visit in the land of VeeFriends Comics. And I hope you share it. I hope you share this. We need like more shareable, like not heavy lesson things that just kind of like, hey, this is a pretty easy one. People complain about the start of their week, or they got the Sunday scaries. There you go. And again, that's what the Sunday comic strip in the newspapers was about yesterday, was this young man freaking out that his weekend's almost over. You see the flower, the original flower on the wall. Is this all I'm working for? And he's like, aha. So when you're complaining about your week or living for your weekend, that's when Monday Mole's going to roll in. He doesn't see well, but he can see through your BS. We're changing the go F yourself into, you know, people, excuse me? Yeah, go find yourself. It's fine. That's why you got to watch Corso and I on the Whatnot streams on Thursdays. Develop that live. That's fun. Why don't we do this? Orange and green. Let me know which VeeFriend mini you want me to open in the chat. Orange or green. Orange or green in the chat. I'll look up here in a second. Take this horn in. Orange or green in the chat. Orange or green in the chat. Originally, when I was talking to Gary about this one, I said, I thought maybe I was going to put Rare Robot in it. And he was like, no, Innovative Impala. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And I also think it's kind of funny that, you know, I just didn't want to like talking about innovation. I wanted to be like, I just wanted to give them an upgrade from their old typewriters to electric typewriter with spell check. Okay, what do we got? Orange. Orange for lava. Green. Orange. Green, green. 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 Orange. Green. Green it is. We're going to try to knock off the dodo. I'm looking for a detailed version. Those details look like, you know, like here's the detailed dodo. I'm looking for a detailed dodo. Hand painted there. Details will knock off the character, or if it's another character that I like. This is Mojo Mouse. I'm not feeling Mojo Mouse. I think Dodo's going to stay on the pencil right now. No offense to Mojo Mouse. That's just what it is. I'm going to set him up there. Put these in the bin. Some recycling. 8:33. We got another hour here. Me inking. It's going to be an inking day for me. I wish I could talk to you about more stuff. I just can't. I could talk vaguely about things, maybe. I just finished the script for VeeFriends Comics number 5. I can't tell you what it is, but I could tell you that I'm very happy with the script. It's a lot different than the VeeFriends comics are just so much different than what you're used to seeing, because honestly, we've never really had stories of the characters yet, and now we will. So some of the stories are a little bit different, not darker. Well, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some darker stories. Nothing X-rated or anything like that, but there's definitely some more adult themes that I think kids will still think is cool. And of course, we still have everything else for all ages. We've got the kids cartoon and stuff like that. I really like the way that Gary said it best was, you know, you like Batman. There's a Lego Batman for everybody, and then there's, you know, an R-rated movie that's a little more, you know, intense. Or Marvel Comics, let's say. You might let your kids watch Spider-Man, but would you let your kids watch Deadpool? No. Hopefully not. Or maybe you would. We're not going to judge you either way. Probably not a good idea, though, to let little kids watch Deadpool. I don't think that's not a great move, in my opinion. I'd avoid that. Steer clear of Deadpool for kids under, you know. Sarcastic teenage kids, sure. They're going to watch it anyways, but if you're letting your under 10-year-old watch Deadpool, well, you get what you get then. My parenting advice. What do I know? Raised 3 boys who are now young men out in the world. Shout out Dylan. Shout out Dakota. Shout out Devin. A lot of times people say, man, you seem too young to have had kids that are down there late 20s. How about that? It's like, well, I started early. Indeed. Which, again, I'm totally fine with, because now I can kind of hang out with my kids. Not as much as I'd like to, but you know, life. Yeah, no, I get rid of those pink lines, by the way. Codec. I could just turn them right off. They're just there for a little loose penciling, you know. I wasn't feeling too like, I didn't keep them too tight pencils like I usually do. I was like, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with my just going straight to inks, to be honest. What else? Yeah, when I was in my 20s, I was raising 3 boys, and I was drawing comics at the time for a lot of different writers. As a matter of fact, I got to see through some of those pages. I still have a lot of the pages I did for some writers that got wet in the basement. I'm like, I don't even remember who this person was. Because like there's some cool sci-fi artwork and stuff, and I'm like, I don't even remember what this project was. Because I used to get hired by a lot of writers to do their 8 to 12 page stories as they were submitting to publishers, you know. So a lot of them would just submit their art, submit their story, not get published, and then give up, and I'd never hear from them again. But I was like I was a hustler out there. I was on all the forums for comic book artists at the time, digital webbing, Bendis board, bunch of other little communities, and I would just be in there waiting. I'd have my page rate set, so when an artist or a writer came along and needed an artist, I'd be like, yep, this is my page rate. And it was a hustle. I had to hustle. Well, I mean, not a hustle like a scam. I mean, like hustle like in baseball. You know, like gotta run, do some laps. That kind of hustle. HUSSLE. Yeah. Yep. Took my not newborn, but I guess he was very young. Took him to a comic convention with us once, Mid-Ohio Con, and a well-known artist that I took a lot from. I learned a lot by sitting next to him. His name was Ron Garney. He works for Marvel a lot. He also just drew that Berserker comic for Keanu Reeves. Anyways, he was sitting beside me, and I had my son, Dakota. Somewhere I've got a video or some photos of him. And he was, I don't know what I'm gonna get the story wrong now, but I'm gonna remember it how I remember it. And he wanted to hold my son. He's like, "Oh, can I hold him?" And I'm like, "Yeah." It's kind of weird. But Ron Garney took my kid and was walking him back and forth down the aisle. And I was joking that Ron Garney's gonna steal our baby, and I think I remember that he was going through some relationship stuff. I think he said that to me. And he just was like having a special moment. Like, it was so nice for him to be able to hold the kid. And now I understand, because I've been through some stuff. I totally get it. Where, I don't know. But I learned from him about, he could have charged $1 million, he could have been charging for every sketch he was doing, and he was doing free sketches for everybody. At the time, he was working on Captain America, and I was like, wow, man, that's crazy. Will you draw something for me? And I had him draw me a Juggernaut. And he told me, he's like, well, you know, my originals are for sale here, and if people want to buy those, they're, you know, they were $400-$500. Some of them were even higher than that per page. But he said that he felt such gratitude for the fans allowing him to do this as a job, that when they come out to meet him at these shows, he just feels like that was something special, and he just wants to say thank you back to them. Now, a lot of them were speculators, and they're just going to flip those sketches, but he didn't care. He was like, it doesn't matter, I've been afforded this life because these people actually give enough care about coming to see me at shows and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that is a good dude. So shout out to you, Ron Garney. I'm still friends with him on Facebook. I think he's still out there. I don't know what he's working on now, but just I learned, like, wow, good dude. I also think, I'm not sure if he was the one that told me, I don't know, there was another guy, I think it was another guy that said it, but talking about not looking down. A lot of comic artists, when you go to shows, they got their heads down. You got to learn how to look up and smile and see someone and look them directly in the eye. And as you're drawing, and I learned how to do that very easily over time. And that has helped me immensely with live streaming. This is what I'm doing right now. Drawing, I'm looking up at you guys at the chats. I'm just kind of, you know, I'm kind of like, oh, who's over here? Rob a flock. Whoops. What do you say? I don't know what you did. Rob's over there. Z's on Instagram or TikTok. Thanks for those lightning bolts. Z3. Then I'm over here looking at Cody and Scotty and Minju. Play song. Play a song? Would you like me to play a song? I got my ukulele here. Would you like me to play a song? Minju wants me to play a song. All right, let's go. This is, wait, I don't even know if this is in tune. It is. My dog has fleas. Pencils down. Boy. Hi. Anyways, there are. That's a little, you know, a little bit out of tune there, but yeah, I like the ukuleles. I once drew a comic strip for the Lanakai Ukulele Company called Bigfoot and Tiki, about a Bigfoot and a Tiki that were roommates, and hijinks ensue. There you go. Let's not get too crazy. That's not multi-talented. I only know how to play like punk rock songs on the ukulele. Really. Pearl Jam and punk rock songs. Technically. And I'm not a good singer, so that's what you get. I took up ukulele a long time ago. I haven't done it in a long time. I think I just kind of have them around, you know. But when I was full-time artist doing comics originally, I didn't have any hobbies. This is all I did. And I'm like, I need something else to do with my time. And I learned how to play ukulele. Pretty easy instrument to learn. It's really hard to mess it up. Why not get too crazy? It's Monday, right? Maybe I'll practice and then I'll come on and I'll sing like a VeeFriends theme song. How about that? VeeFriends theme song. Well, we have a VeeFriends theme song. Maybe I'll learn that one on the ukulele. Yes or no? In the chat. Oh man, no one wants that. Trust me, you don't want that in your life. What do we got here? 538 watching. Whoa, that's a pretty good record for 8:47 in the morning. Ever heard of Guy Gilchrist? I sure have. He did a lot of work for Jim Henson. I've been sharing your comics with Butch Hartman too. Guy Gilchrist, yeah, man, I've been around for a while. So Guy was in a lot of the old forums and stuff that I was in. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, he would wear a funny hat. Yeah. Guy Gilchrist, really good cartoonist. I was always into web comics, you know, and like because it was basically just publishing my work for free online because I saw the future there of like, wow, everybody's just gonna post things online for free, and then you gotta, you know, build your true fans and monetize in another way. And there was a lot of cartoonists back then that hated that and didn't like the web cartoonists coming up, but I was one of the first. You know, we were kind of pioneers out there doing that. It didn't feel that way though. It felt like you either got it or you know, people disrespected you or didn't take you seriously because your stuff was free on the internet. And look at me now. It's still the way to go. It's still the way. If you're building anything you want to be consistent to publishing online. You know, I've got a lot of artists that watch and listen, and I don't get it, man. You know, especially if you ever wanted to do anything for VeeFriends, it's probably unlikely because it's about action, and we see a lot of people that don't follow through. Or other publishing companies that I've worked for, same thing. An artist might be like, hey, hire me, and we're like, we go to your website, there's nothing, like there's nothing new, you know, we don't see any action happening, and it's kind of like, man, if you really wanted this, you know, if you really wanted to be in the art world or comics, you'd have, you know, comic pages, or you know, you gotta work on that stuff. Musicians, same thing. There's a lot of musicians that are like, I'm in a band, and we live in a world where you could write a song every day and put out little pieces of it. There's plenty of artists doing that right now, and they build up quite an audience online doing that, taking you behind the scenes into what they're doing and releasing little verses of the songs on TikTok and stuff like that. There's people building whole careers on that, and then there's just the people that sit around and talk about it. I haven't looked up, man, you know, Guy Gilchrist back in the day, like 25 years ago, he seemed older to me then, so let's look him up. Guy Gilchrist. There he is. He looks like yeah, man. As a matter of fact, I've dabbed him up a couple of times in person. But he always seemed older to me back then. Oh yeah, the Muppets, man. He did a lot of cool Muppet stuff. I remember that as well. Let's see, images. Shout out to Guy. Heck yeah. Let's just look at it. I'm just gonna go to, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm not gonna do that. I thought maybe it would let me. A Muppet comic strip. Man, I love the Muppets. Let's be real. What's he out there doing right now? Does he have a Wikipedia? There he goes. 1957. Glad he's still out there doing it. Gilchrist career. What's he up to now? Yeah. Always very encouraging of, you know, younger artists and stuff. I remember. Looks like he should be the lead singer of a southern rock band. I remember that. And I swear to God he wore a hat as well back then. Good dude. Love the Muppets. I've drawn some Muppet stuff, but not directly for the Muppets. We did, Brian Lynch and I. Brian Lynch, the writer. Hollywood's Brian Lynch now. Writes Minions and created Secret Life of Pets. He's a huge Muppets fan. And we once put Muppets in his Monkey Man comic that I was drawing. And they were so fun to draw. And what else? He wears a hat a lot. So do I. But I mean, he's got like a, cowboy hat or something. I don't know. Love the Muppets too. Yeah, I was just thinking we need more Muppets. Like, we need more puppets in the internet. You know, there's not enough puppets out there. Piss Peak, such a big fan of your VeeFriends sketches that you're amazing. Thanks, man. Thank you. Cheers to you. Piss Peak, good morning. Is it difficult to pick which characters go in each comic with so many different options? It is, but I think we just let so for instance, this one, I said, hey Gary, the idea, well actually the original idea comes from Gary's topics. I got a list of topics. And, this clearly is about innovation and upgrading and stuff like that. And I wanted to do it in a clever way. And so I told him, I said, hey, I think I'm going to do an innovation strip where they get upgraded to electric typewriters instead of their regular old typewriters. And I said, I'm thinking about having Rare Robot come in and talk about like computers and stuff and tools. And he was like, no, Innovative Impala. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So I've drawn him before too. And it made more sense to change it to Innovative Impala. So then the strip before this one was the 3-bird system, because I've had the 3-monkey system in the comic about gratitude and hear no, see no evil, that kind of thing. That's the 3-monkey system. So we have the 3-bird system in yesterday's comic. So you need to have passion. But passion, you also have to be, if you don't know what your passion is, then you got to be curious. So you need Curious Crane. And then I was like, we got to have another bird. If there's 3 birds, then the other bird was Courage. Courageous Cockatoo. You got to have courage to take a leap and do your thing. You know, because you're courage on many levels, as a matter of fact. Because your family might not really dig what you're doing. Be responsible, though. I'm not telling you just to go do stuff. Be responsible with that. But it takes some courage to be like, because in those silent moments when you're alone, thinking, should I do this? Or is it going to upset so-and-so and yada yada? And then you just don't do it. And then you regret it later. You're like, man, I should have did that. I should have did that. Because all the common sense out there will tell you, don't do that thing. Like, I was really dead set before on launching a daily comic strip for myself. And, my wife warned me that I didn't have time. Everyone warned, like, nobody wants that. But I wanted it, so I was like, I'm going to do it. So I was walking the dog, thinking about regret, stoicism. Like, am I going to be 80 years old thinking, man, I should have did that. I never did that. I should have done that. So that's kind of how I live my life. If I'm walking the dog going like, I should have done that. I should do this. I should at least try it. And a lot of times it's not going to work out, but if it does, that kind of thing. Take that chance, whatever it is. Just be responsible. Don't just go nuts. Please. Don't leave your family or anything like that. It's gonna be hard sometimes. Recently I had a conversation with an artist that was feeling like there wasn't many jobs or something, and I said, well, for art it's a little tricky, but there's plenty of jobs out there, man. Just go get a job. I'm talking Sheets pays $20 an hour or something. Go do that. Swallow your pride a little bit. Go work some job. Be a barista. I don't know. Stop being so full of yourself. Go do that. Support your family. Support your situation. Pay your bills. And then invest in yourself, along the way. Things aren't just going to be a snap. It's not going to be like a Thanos snap where everything just falls into place, or all the bad stuff disappears or something. You're going to have to work at it. You got to have a lot of patience, not just in being on the page drawing or whatever you're doing. You might be creating a business. You might be running a business for yourself, and you want all these instant results right now, but you got to put the time in and stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Speaking of which, I'm going to turn these on real quick. Zoom out. Stick to the plan, Sam. These two typewriters are talking to each other. At the end. Yeah. Today in Space said, Clubhouse said, would love to talk life someday and exchange career stories. Oh boy. I got a lot of them. And then today in Space says, I've had to reprogram myself as an adult to listen to my gut, not my common sense. Yeah, Whoop, there he went. He's gone. Common sense just fell through the hole. Sometimes you just gotta be a willful wizard and make it happen. Magic. Let's see who's in here. Let's see what's in there. Take a little break. We're early. I gotta be honest. I was waking up. I wasn't feeling too good this morning. I was ugh. It was early. I was 5 a.m. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the stream. But I thought, well, after I wake up, get some coffee in me, get moving. It's a lava astronaut does not beat the dope dodo. I haven't pulled any detailed VeeFriends in a little while. It's bumming me out. I was on a hot streak there for a while. Yeah. Clubhouse says, being in the creative industry for 15 years has taught me patience and humility. Yeah. I did that full time. I did full-time art, comic books, let's say. Like I was just saying, I did a lot of pages for people. Different artists, different whatever. I had some published stuff. 13 years. And then I got some big wins, you know. And, but it's tricky, you know, being a young man. I'm like, I'm immortal. I don't need health insurance. But then you got kids and you're like, well, the kids can be covered under like things like WIC and, you know, state, you know, I think that my kids had like CHIP or something, health insurance, and I didn't have any health insurance when I was young because I thought I was immortal. You know, just young and stupid, but health insurance is very expensive too. So it's like, wow, you know, I'll forego this. But then the older you get, you're like, you know what? I guess I probably need some allergy medicine, or I need some, you know, you start to fall apart. So, you know, you gotta be more, a little more responsible. I was more of like a pirate ship. Let's just wing it and see how it goes. Not the greatest moves. Don't let artists run the ship, because it's not, you ain't gonna make it. Well, yeah, this is good enough. We can have Doritos for dinner. Let's do that. Oh, Taco Bell again? Let's do it. Del Taco. Yeah, but I did that for 13 years full time. And then I was doing a lot of things, creative anyways, but running a roller derby league, and I met a guy that was like, hey, I found a job that you might want to try. You really love it, I think. And I'm like, I don't want to work for anyone else. And then I looked into it and had benefits and salary. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe it'll save my relationship and benefit my family. And I took that job. Got to work with top YouTubers. I think on my first week working there, I got on a phone with a person named Felix, which ended up being PewDiePie. We were drawing some stuff for top YouTubers. And that just kind of became my career. I didn't put comics away because at the same time, even though I had that job, I was still doing freelance. So I was working for the Lanakai Ukulele Company, drawing the Bigfoot and Tiki comic, and I was doing a bunch of other side things with people, but it wasn't my full-time thing anymore, and it felt great. I was like, oh, you know what? I don't need to like stress about where the paycheck's gonna come from. This will be wonderful, benefits, all that stuff, but it still didn't fix my relationship. I'm glad it didn't, you know. I'm way happier for it now, but you know, it's the only reason I took that job, was I was like, maybe this will help me survive. And it did. I was there for 11 years before I got the, not really courage. For me, it was more like, I don't really like the way this is going. And left that situation. I think I talk about this a lot. If you're on this, you know this story. But it's worth repeating, I suppose. We're hoping. Okay. Great. Everybody's waking up. Everybody's getting to work. It's 9:06. My messages are going off. I'll check in on after the live stream, everybody. Burrito calculator. Yeah, Scotty, Seasons of Life. That's right. That's right. And the more people, the more artists that I speak to, and you know, I've been speaking to a lot of artists more so over the past 3 years. I've got the Jarred Eye brand, and I talk to a lot of artists, and a lot of them are struggling, you know, with their self. You know, a lot of them just need therapy and can't afford it, because therapy can be quite expensive. But if you're out there and you need something like that, there's a book called The Tools by Stutz. That's a really good. If you get that book and read it, it's a very short read. Use those tools to get through your day-to-day as a creator. I was just thinking about that again. I was thinking about being uncomfortable, that feeling of uneasiness that you get sometimes. And it's our nature to want to hide from that and, you know, lean back and, you know, go be safe. It's in our nature to do that. And that book says when you feel that, it's almost like a sign that you're about to have a breakthrough, but you got to lean into it. Lean into that uncomfortable meeting or that uncomfortable situation or that fear that you have, whatever it might be. You got to lean into it. And then that's where the good stuff is, beyond that wall when you break through it. And in my experience, and multiple other people that have read those books and have done that type of therapy, it's true. A lot of stand-up comedians, a lot of musicians, myself included, it's always that one step beyond where you're comfortable, where your comfort zone is. Because, man, it's really easy to just go, that's too hard, or that's going to be, I want to avoid that. I don't want to upset anyone. I don't want to have that conversation, or I don't want to do that thing, or I don't want to, you know, that kind of thing. Right? And then you got your shadow self as well. So that's your part X. What they call it, and that's the one that's sometimes tells you that you're no good or you're not good enough, and it's trying to protect you from failure. Like, it doesn't want you to fall flat on your face, so it's telling you, like, hey, why don't we just not do that? Why don't we just stay safe over here? And you've got to not listen to that voice, or understand when it's talking to you, because it's lying. But it's got a good intention. It's trying to help you. It's trying to help you, but it's not. It's actually hurting you. It's actually holding you back. These are all things you learn over time. One day I'll have a few of your sketch cards. I can't wait. I got some new sketch cards coming, blanks. Can't wait to draw on those. Good morning, Cubby Blue. down some stuff. Next week, I'll be in New York. I don't know if I'm going to be streaming from New York or not. We'll see. I don't know. Stay tuned. Be subscribed to the YouTube channel. Turn on notifications. I'll do my best. But it's not the same situation. It's not the same setup, not the same situation as I have here. Because I could just literally like get ready, come in, turn on the camera, and go. Up in New York City, I might have to go to I'm gonna have to go to the office, figure out a setup, see if the studio's open. We'll see. We'll see. See how I'm feeling, you know. See what's going on. Meetings, you know, that kind of stuff. But man, I'm excited for the future, near future of VeeFriends. Topps Chrome is going to just be, I think, a game changer in and of itself. And then we got the comics. I'm pretty confident Cobra, that you're going to see those comics when they come out. We're putting them out in a very interesting way, by the way, so you're just going to have to stay tuned for that. They're going to be on eBay for, you're going to want to, I can't guarantee this, but I'm pretty confident that the way that we're doing it, those things are going to be a high collectible in the VeeFriends universe. Because, like, if you think about it, it's a lot of the times, like, the very first time the characters have appeared in comics, the first time you're going to see some origin stories, you're going to see some deeper character building and world building and stuff like that. And it's I can't wait to talk about it. It's going to really make these streams a lot different too, because I'm going to be able to say, like, talk about lore and how things are connected, and a whole different ball game. Fun, especially if you're into VeeFriends, and especially if you're collecting VeeFriends, you're going to be like wanting to pay attention to all that. Absolutely. And then, it's my intention, and I believe also Gary's, but no promises here. This is just DJ talking out loud. Disclaimer. My intention is that we will take the stories and the ethos that we're building around the characters and make things like film, television, video games. Like, that's the way we need to go if we want to be what we want to be. Maybe even things that we haven't thought of that don't exist yet. How cool would it be to have like a VR situation in the future, like where you put on some glasses and the VeeFriends are just hanging out with you. Or if you could pick a VeeFriend that was like your Tamagotchi or whatever. Tamagotchi. Gucci. Tamaguchi. Imagine like having an innovative Impala in your pocket. Very interesting. Which, if you tie that in with ChatGPT and things like that, like, you really could. You could have a trained, like, tell me, give me ideas for this thing. How can I make this more innovative? Or how can I take these old tools and, innovate with them? That's interesting to me. Gucci. It's all Gucci. We got a lot of stuff happening. A lot of things happening. We've got this idea. I'm just going to tell it like it is so that you can pay attention. Pretty soon, we're setting it up. This has been a long time coming, where we might be drawing some things live on the drawing board shows, and then you'll be able to draw. You'll be able to buy a mug, or you'll be able to buy the thing that we're drawing live on a piece of merch as we're drawing it. I know it's kind of a leap of faith, but if you're like, oh, that's neat, you know, and we want things to be, I wouldn't say more affordable, but definitely more affordable. Like, you don't need everything to cost $25 or $40 or $50. Like, we want to have a lot more accessible pricing. I think one of Gary's, wishes is to have like a $10, $15 product that's very accessible to new folks. We've got a lot of young families that find these streams, and people have asked for posters and stickers and things like that. So we hear you, and we want to make, if you want to collect VeeFriends or get started on something, we want it to be accessible to everybody. And while it's nice that we have so many higher end collectibles and things, not everything has to be, you know what I mean. Not everything has to be super duper. If you think about how we collect things when we were kids, it was up to us, the collectors, to go put our stuffs in a sleeve, or, we do a lot. Like, we do a lot for our collectors base. Like, when we send you something, it usually comes in a sleeve and usually comes pretty nice, So shout out to that. Like, that's some extra care and stuff. But I'm like, that's like not normal. That's not a normal thing that people do. And it increases some costs and stuff, but we don't, it's not our purpose, I'd say. DJ, did Gary gift you an NFT yesterday? No, I didn't ask. Maybe he did. I don't know. I got a condor from him. I got the first content condor. So that was a long time ago. That was last year. Because I'm a content condor. I know a lot about content. I don't do enough content, to be honest. These live streams are one thing, and it's a lot. Drawing the comics, doing live streams, running a comics team, writing scripts. I'm doing a lot, but I can do more, So, just gotta balance the time. Yeah, got a Series 1 content condor. I think it's number 1. Gary O. It's a goo. It's a GOO. I've had multiple offers on it. Never selling it. I'll never sell that. I never open up this ninja card back here. My notorious ninja card from New York Comic Con. I'm never opening that. The Superfractor could be in there. I don't care. I like the mystery of what's in there. Or if my friend gives me a gift, it's not about the money to me. I don't know. What is money? Pay bills, debt, rack up debt, pay bills, buy more things you don't need. So my wife and I were just looking at all of our stuff as we're cleaning that basement. We're like, oh my God, we have too much stuff. Like, I'm like, can we just put it in like a storage facility? Because like some of the stuff we don't want to get rid of per se, but I'm like, why do we have this here? You know, I'm definitely becoming less stuff and more experiences kind of person. I say that, and then I did just buy some limited edition whiskey tumblers. There are certain things, you know, I'll splurge for, but we've accumulated a lot of stuff. That's for sure. What do we got? All right, one day is this, that, other things going on over here. Yeah, that erupt art, the erupt art is cool on the new VeeFriends Chrome. I forget the name of the artist off the top of my head. The Kaboom artist guy. Really good stuff. Really fun. I like that about VeeFriends now, because like VeeFriends felt very contained to a certain Series 2 style sort of thing, where everything kind of looked like, you know, nothing wrong with these at all. Like, I love these. I love the original version 2s. I think they're, you know, very universal, not just for children. But I'm liking seeing the style, slight style changes, you know, because you have that with Marvel and DC and Disney even to a certain extent. Not so much Disney, but the different artist interpretation, but you still can tell it's the character. And then we've got some really wild, you know, not wild, not like, you know, just really crazy departures from the Series 2 art in the upcoming comic books. Something we tested, we liked it, and I'm sure some people are not going to like it, but I think everybody's going to be like, whoa. The majority of people are going to dig it and be like, yeah. Like the Wizard looks way different. Wizard looks a bit different. I can't say the other names, or I'll give away too much. But trust me, it's freaking awesome. 9:25 is Monday morning. It's 6:56 view today. It's a record for this early, I think. Thanks for watching, tuning in. I hope you subscribe or follow on the different channels. This stream is pretty much just my work. The beginning of my work day. I start earlier than most. You know, there's still really no 9 to 5 for me. I'm gonna go until I, you know, always gonna have things to do. That's the life of a cartoonist, really. I can't just be like, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, time to shut off. Nope. But don't worry, I don't work all the time. Someone was worried that I don't take any time. Trust me, I have a personal life and, you know, went and enjoyed my life a little bit. I've learned to not talk too much about too much of my personal life, just because it gets a little weird. You know, no, I'm sure no one means. I'm sure nobody means anything, has any bad intentions, but you never know. But sometimes it's like, you know, I totally get it. Some things aren't for mass consumption in your private life. But I talk a lot about I'm pretty transparent. I'm not hiding anything. It's just kind of weird when people know everything about you and you're like, ugh, it feels weird. So you gotta leave some back. Can't complain too much. I'm not complaining at all, actually. I'm just making the point that yes, I have a life outside of VeeFriends. Hey, see you later. Brian, thanks for stopping by. See you on the flip side. We're almost done. We're almost done here. Got a lot of key inking done. Still probably 3-ish hours, 3 or 4 hours to go on this total strip probably. Maybe by Wednesday I'll be working on a brand new one. Hey, make sure you go over there. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Please do that. Go over to VeeFriends Instagram. On Mondays, you're going to see the Monday Mole comic strip for now. So, profile. Follow us there. Go ahead and like this Monday Mole comic. 18 people. Say that you were watching live. Scotty, Clem, Santa. This is one of the greatest VeeFriends comics I've seen in a while. Good job, Monday Mole. Into it. Great. You get it then. I'm trying to make something a little more light, but a little more like, you know, like just zing. A little zing, a little shareable post there. So make sure you share it. Put it in your stories. Send it to a friend that needs it. Monday Mole will be there for you. You might just say F you, Monday Mole. Right. Later, Clay. We'll see you soon. See you back here on Wednesday, maybe. Yep. Unless my whole house floods and I fly away. Let's not do that. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, VeeFriends are forever. I'll see you on Wednesday, 8 a.m. morning stream. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Have a wonderful Monday.